All right. Oh, turkey.
There it is.
Oh,
I
yes.
got you with the turkey.
Stronger Life Show, episode number 2. All right. So, y'all liked episode 1. That was fun.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah, we got a lot of good feedback. Lots of questions that we'll continue to talk about. Let's just clear up a few things. We had some good follow-up comments on the last one. So the last episode 1, was about, do you lift heavy weight or do you lift lighter weight for heavier loads? So let's get to a couple questions to discuss here. So Super Sue, she said, if I want to do reps at home, say working on my arms and shoulders, and I have 10-pound dumbbells at the most, how many reps should I be working toward, or how should I gauge it?
That's great.
10-pound dumbbell. What would you say to that?
I think a scale that we like to use is pretty common in the strength and conditioning world is the RPE, or rating of perceived exertion. So making sure that you're still hitting intensity, but the research more done on strength and hypertrophy that we were talking about, it has a lot more to do to go into failure. So of course, one caveat would be like overuse injuries. May want to be a little more cautious on that strategy if you're new to weight training or you've had an old injury, as far as like taking everything to failure because you've got limited weight. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think when you have light options like that, which for some of you all watching, when you hear 10 pounds, you may think that's pretty heavy, which for some it is. But for the vast majority of our members, after probably 1 to 2 months, they perceive the 10-pounder to be kind of light, and which is awesome. But for some, 10 pounds is plenty of weight. But if it's relatively light to you, more reps for sure. And going to failure. When we say failure, is that you're attempting to do that particular movement and you're just not able to do it anymore. So for someone like Sue and doing 10 pounds, that could be a lot of reps. I mean, we're talking like 30, 40, but depending on the movement maybe.
Yeah.
And so the technique is going to be probably pretty important there. And so just making sure that you're doing that movement very technically sound, good form, and then going to failure, and that will get some hypertrophy gains and then some strength gains as well. But that's not to say that's better than lifting heavier weight, and that's what we give preference to in Stronger Life. But if you're limited on your options, and going to failure is perfectly fine.
Yeah, absolutely. You make a good point, because load produces a different value to cartilage and weight-bearing surfaces than a lighter load. So it's like you can still get strong, but some of those other connective tissues or ancillary tissues that get impact from load don't get the same value.
Yeah, that's a good point. Definitely bone for sure. You're not going to get the same increase in bone mineral density from lifting lighter weights for a lot of reps as opposed to lifting heavier weights.
Yeah, so if we thought about it kind of like a graph, where it's like you're going to get strong, but the benefits for like bone density, like no resistance training versus some, we got a bump. And then the more load, we see a further increase, kind of more on a linear like fashion.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Sue, for that. We also had some great questions from Ray Brown. So Ray asked, well, this is kind of a two-parter. How does someone new to the program know where to start? Is there a place for fitness testing? How does one know that there has been objective improvement? So I'll take the first one. How does someone new to the program know where to start? So I feel like this is a big part of our job as coaches, in that initial intake when we talk to y'all, do that introductory meeting and call, that we get a good idea of your previous activity levels. Have they done an exercise program before? How fit are they right now? Because if, let's say we have someone coming from another gym that has been working out 3 to 5 days a week and they come to Stronger Life, I'm not going to be as concerned about where they start as opposed to someone that's just starting an exercise program. So if someone is brand spanking new to exercise in general, then we'll go back to what Jeff mentioned, the RP, so rating of perceived exertion. How hard do you perceive the effort that you're giving? What we often do though is we don't really push people too hard at the beginning because we've learned the hard way. You know, we have someone new to exercise, they're very excited, and then they come in and they want to lift all the weights, and we're encouraging them, yeah, load it up, put those 10s on there, let's get after it. And then the next day comes around and they're miserable from the muscle soreness. And so that can be challenging for some to overcome. And so what we typically do is we use that RPE. So they're giving effort that they're comfortable giving. They don't feel like they're overdoing it. And then we're not really pushing them too hard to progress quickly. But after that 2-3 week period, after they've been training for a while, that's when we start to say, hey, you should probably add 2.5 pounds or 5 pounds or whatever. So all that to say, it's a lot of our job, but it's also a lot of the members' job and what they are feeling during the workout. So, well, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, technique's also a guardrail too, where we want to see certain things with technique so that it's safe, not perfection.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we always want to be getting better with our technique, but there's a zone of tolerance to us as coaches, to Amy as a coach when she's seeing people move. So it's like if you're moving well, that's an important piece with some resistance, but the soreness could really kind of, if you go real hard real quick without a training background, can make it not as much fun as you would have to just start up and add a little bit at a time.
Right. And the soreness isn't bad. It's just not pleasant for someone that hasn't experienced it before. You know, if you've been an athlete and you've trained, you expect it, right? But we have a lot of people that this is brand spanking new, and when they experience that, it's not pleasant. And we're trying to minimize that so they keep coming. That's the goal. Consistency over time. All right, so the second part, is there a place for fitness testing? How does one know that has been objective improvement? So how would you answer that? Because I know you think about that a lot with the programming.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the cool things about our gym software, Wattify, is you can track your weights to figure out how much weight you lifted. Like we just talked about some of the different cycles that we do with our weight training, reps versus sets. So if you log, okay, I did deadlift, I did 50 pounds for 5 reps or 3 reps, and then coming back through, if you've logged that, then you can see when you come back to that lift. So that's very objective. But also want to mention that it's not always lifting more weight. Sometimes progress is lifting the same weight with more repetitions. And that's where and we don't get into the weeds a whole lot on 1 rep max calculations. However, Wattify, the gym software, can do that for you. So
what's a 1 rep max?
So 1 rep max is the maximal effort for 1 repetition. The most weight I could lift, say in a deadlift, say I do 100 pounds with good technique, but 102, not happening. And if I rested for a significant period of time, probably couldn't do it again. Maybe not. So that would be a 1 repetition max to kind of calculate my maximum capability in a lift. So that's one way. And then we also repeat some of our benchmark workouts. So we'll actually repeat a workout, not very frequently, but after a certain period of time, whether it's been a month or 2 or 3 months, so you can track your time doing the same volume of work or with the same amount of weight. So our gym software really, if you track your weights, especially at the beginning moving forward, then you've got a lot you can compare to.
And the app is probably the easiest, the Wattify app. You just go in, put in the numbers, and then it'll show your previous performance when that comes back up. So when we say a benchmark workout, that's kind of like a classic workout that we feel is a good test of fitness, overall fitness. Some may be more geared towards testing your strength. Others may be geared more testing your endurance or balance. But these are workouts that we can score. So I think probably the favorite of everyone may be the Tenacious 10, would you say?
Probably.
So Tenacious 10 is 10 movements, 10 reps, and you're doing as many, you're going through that as many times as you can in a 20-minute period. And so you can do that workout and then you'll have a score. You know, for some people it may be upwards of 300 and some reps that they've gotten through. And then when they go to do that again and 2-3 months down the road, they may be able to add 50 reps to that, which shows that they've gotten fitter. So there's lots of ways that we can test that, but our programming in of itself will show you the improvement, especially from the strength standpoint with the strength-based skills that we do, you'll be able to see it pretty quickly.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people, just like you were talking about the intake piece when people first come to us, there's usually a functional movement or something that has gotten difficult that brings people to us to see what we do to get stronger, get some fitness back, whether it's like walking consecutive flights of stairs, getting up and down out of the floor is a really common one that a lot of people struggle with when they first come. And that's maybe not a technical fitness piece, but a very important piece of function, because what we do in the gym all comes back to real life. So I think keeping in mind, if you start that journey with us, that thing that brought you, and then retesting, being able to do that as your marker. Yeah,
it makes you think of Ann Bishop, that I believe it was her daughter or some family member that lived, a couple hours away, and when she would go and visit, she had to walk steps. And she would talk about when she started, she would have to stop every flight or on the landing and catch her breath and then go again. And then after being with StrongerLife for a few months, she was going up 3 flights of stairs without having to stop. Like that's a test, and you can objectively see change, which is really cool to see. Ray, we appreciate those questions. If you have a question for the StrongerLife show, we would love for you to drop it. Whether you're watching this on Instagram, whether you're watching on Facebook, or you're watching on YouTube, or even on our blog, in the comments, just type your question. We'll see it, and we'll add it to the queue of topics that we're going to discuss with the StrongerLife show. In terms of updates around the gym, we don't have anything too crazy other than people just crushing the workouts.
So many personal records, people lifting more than they've ever lifted before, doing new lifts they've never even done before with weight. It's just so much fun.
It's sweet. We also have a lot of new folks that are doing our individual sessions, which we're really excited about. Folks that want to have more one-on-one attention with one of us, one of the coaches, to address certain goals that we may not address in class, or they want to make sure that they're good to go when they do join the class. We've had a few people that have done our individual sessions for a month or 2 months and then gone into the StrongerLife classes, which is great as well. So lots of fun things happening on StrongerLife. We will be back in 2 weeks with episode 3 of the StrongerLife show. We've got lots of questions in the queue. So if you want to add to that, just comment on this video and we'll discuss it.
Awesome.
Coach Jeff? Oh, nice.
I almost nailed you. I got close. I went the wrong way.